Welcome to Climate Check, the show that gives you an opportunity to participate in climate action and environmental protection. My name is Mary Mwekisa, your host. Now, today on the program, we will be discussing mining, the environment and society, the case of Kitwe and Mufulira districts of the Copperbelt province, and much, much more on the program, because these three activities are interlinked. And so that is what we'll be focusing on. For now, we take a short break. Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi, just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature, such as forests, has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers, and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. I'm now joined in studio by Mr. Clarence Muziamba. He is Executive Director of the Zambia Empowerment Hub for Entrepreneurship and Skills Training. Welcome to Climate Check.
Thank you so much, Mary, and I'm happy to be here.
All right. Let's appreciate the work that you do as an organization before we focus on our topic of the day.
Thank you so much. So ZEST is a think tank, non-governmental organization. We work around issues to do with entrepreneurship, environment, governance, and empowerment programs, policies, and projects.
Okay.
So ZEST are initials, which stands for Zambian Empowerment Hub for Entrepreneurship and Skills Training. So over the years, we've been conducting a lot of empowerment symposiums in communities to make sure that citizens are empowered with information, knowledge, and skills. We also make sure that we advocate for good policies, environmental policies. We know that climate change is now one of the major challenges this whole world is facing. And so as an NGO, we make sure that we advocate for right policies, to make sure that we check on what the government is doing and other stakeholders. But we know that environmental protection is everybody's responsibility. So that's what ZEST is all about.
Okay. How are you providing checks and balances regarding environmental protection and climate justice in Zambia?
Thank you so much. So how we are doing that, recently we participated in the budget presentations and also submissions at Parliament through Publish What You Pay. We are members of alliances, Publish What You Pay. So we met and we looked at the environmental budget allocations, and we made our submissions. We didn't end there. We also went to Parliament Park to appear before various committees, and that is how we are making sure that we offer checks and balances. We are also issuing press statements just to make sure that we keep in touch with environmental policies, just checking on where we are with the government, other stakeholders, to make sure that there's environmental justice. We stand to defend the environment because we know that if we destroy nature, then nature will destroy us as well.
Exactly. Now let's zero into our topic for the day. What is your general assessment of mining activities in Zambia currently?
Thank you so much, Mary. So for us, we know that as a country, we have been mining for over 100 years. But what we see is that our own people we have not really gotten the real benefits which come out from mining. If you go on the Copperbelt, for example, you see that the mines, the towns look dilapidated. They are just holes to show that actually there was mining here. But for something to show in terms of economic value, it's less. So I think moving forward, and we just turned 61 as a country. So it's time to think again, to review our policies, to say where are we doing well and where can we do well. But we know that we have a lot of work work to do, especially in the mining sector, when it comes to investment, because we know that mining comes with a lot of changes. And most of it is environmental degradation. Trees are cut there. We see that infrastructure, buildings, all that comes with cutting of the trees, and as well as other wildlife is affected. We see a lot of also pollution, which comes as a result of mining, as well as other activities that hinder on the environment. So, all in all, as ZEST, we are also members of various platforms where we offer our help and advice, our advocacy, just to ensure that we do the correct thing.
Okay. Now, let's focus on Kitwe and Mufulira. I've picked these two locations because there's a lot of mining activities happening in these towns. What kind of threats does mining pose on the environment, especially when we look at these two towns?
Thank you so much. So Mufulira and other parts of the Copper Belt have been negatively affected by mining. We see a lot of displacements to begin with. We see that indigenous people are moved from their places of origin where they have stayed for many years. But because of mining which is happening, you find that displacements are happening. You find a lot of crops are lost. Our mines are still fresh. We remember how the drought left us in Awe, and many things could not move. Poverty comes in when there's no food, when there's not enough rainfall, when trees are cut. We see that as a country now we are in a catastrophic atmosphere. So all those are effects of mining in Mufulira, as well as other towns where mining is happening. But also more to say that safety concerns are also very, very critical to look at. We see that most of them, of these people go to mine. In most of these places, they are doing it so without proper mining with them. So we know that, of course, mining is a complicated venture, but it requires a lot of investment. We see that most of the people who are doing mining are actually young people. And we have seen in the budget, 2026 budget, that over 1,000 mining licenses were issued. But coming from an empowerment hub where we make sure that citizens are empowered, we see that a lot of people going into the so-called illegal mining are young persons. And now these are young people who want to thrive. So maybe our message to the government through the Ministry of Mines is that they should issue out licenses so that we don't have indigenous Zambians. For us, the entrepreneurs, not to be called the illegal miners, but they should be able to have to acquire all the provisions, the licenses, the documentation, so that they mine freely. Because if we don't empower our own local citizens, then this is why now people it's difficult to manage what you're not benefiting from. Exactly. You see that people are cutting trees anyhow with impunity, and that is causing a lot of havoc in our nation.
We heard of a case on the Copper Belt in Kitwe of the Sino Metals pollution that happened, and the contamination has been really historic, and this is one of the effects of unsustainable mining, whatever it is that caused whatever happened. How can we ensure sustainable mining in Zambia?
Thank you so much for that brilliant question again, Mary. So sustainable mining comes with a lot of investment. Sino Metals indeed have been making bad headlines for a long time. And what we expect as environmental defenders is for the government to take action. The Ministry of Mines, we have ZEMA, Zambia Environmental Management Agency. Now, these are mandated agencies that are supposed to enforce the law. We are just players, environmental defenders, but that's why we have the law. So for us is to raise more alarm and to make sure that the departments which are responsible, in this case we know them, ZEMA, they should be able to enforce. One thing which we have come to learn is that also our regulatory agencies such as ZEMA, they also require capacity. Sometimes issues of capacity have arisen more than once. We see that when it comes to mining and pollution, the figures that we get, even for ZRA, they are those figures which the miners, the investors themselves give us, and not us going on the ground with our expertise and get those figures. So we are getting cooked figures, for lack of a better term. So we need to invest in that regard. But coming to pollution, you know what pollution does? It has effects not only for now, but also for future generations. You find that even fish also is destroyed. You find the rivers, the pollution. You know, water is also a source of life for drinking, as well as also for wildlife. So pollution really causes a lot of harm. And for us as ZEST and as environmentalists, all we can say is we want the polluter principle to apply. We know that the more you pollute, the more you pay. So for steel metals, we know that government has been on them, but I think we still have a lot of work to do. We are a bit slow. We need to ensure that when you pollute immediately, you pay, so that at least we try to bring down the pollution from escalating to further damages.
Now, we know that when mining entities are setting up in Zambia at whatever scale, large scale, medium scale, or small scale, there are regulations, rules of engagement that the government of Zambia puts on the table. But then over the years, we've seen some of these regulations being floated. How can we ensure, from a civil society point of view, that these mining entities comply with the rules and regulations of the land?
Thank you. So what we need is constant monitoring and evaluation. We need to make sure that once we engage, it does not end there. We have a lot of work to do. Zambia Development Agency has a lot of work to do. Ministry of Mines, Ministry of Water. We need to see more interlinkages in terms of ministries. We see that oftentimes what the Ministry of Water is doing, what the Ministry of Environment, Green Economy is doing are totally different. So we need more meetings, more coordinated approach. We need a multi-sectoral approach, in short, for us to be able to deal with these issues. We need to deal with our capacity issues. We need to make sure that we have the relevant expertise needed to ensure that we do the correct thing. And also our law enforcement agencies, they should not wait for a calamity to occur for them to sanction those people who bend the law or who break the law. But we need constant monitoring and reminders so that once that is done, then we see that the law must take its own hand. And also, we see that sometimes it's political influence. We know that these investors come with a lot of money, and it's about putting people first. That is what we need, and putting our priorities and our money where it matters most. So I think we have a collective work to do. Also, citizens have a work to do as well to monitor. It is not only by just sitting and just watching an investor coming in your community, but you have a voice to raise out.
Take interest.
Exactly. What kind of investment is this? So that you investigate and then take the ownership. That's how we are going to develop.
Okay. And as I let you go, Mr. Muziamba, what do you recommend is the best way of managing our mining sector in the country to those policymakers, those in charge of making these laws?
Thank you so much. So in Zambia, we know that we have a lot of good policies, but what we are lacking is implementation. So for us moving forward, we want to make sure that environmental policies and laws are adhered to the latter. We need ZEMA to be active. We know they have an inspectorate team and they need to go around. Obviously, they need support.
Yes.
Even in the environmental budget, we have seen that we have 0.06 in the environment for the budget next year. So we need more allocation. We know what climate change has done and what the environment has been damaged. And so for us to repair that, we need a lot of reforestation. We need a lot of investment in terms of funds and technical to ensure that we do the correct thing. Because if we keep the environment safe, then everything will be fine. But if we don't, then even our future is threatened.
All right. Mr. Muziamba, I'd like to thank you so much for making time to be on Climate Check.
Thank you so much, Mary, for having me.
All right. Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi, just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature such as forests has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. Now, the sponsors of the program, HIVOS and a consortium of other NGOs, have produced a documentary that was done on the Copper Belt, Kitwe and Mufulira, just to look at the impact of mining on communities. Take a look.
Zambia's Copper Belt, the beating heart of the nation's economy. For a long time now, these mines have powered industries, built cities, and promised prosperity. But beneath that promise lies a heavy price, paid by those who live closest to the mines.
Living in the mining area, it's not easy because lots of pollutions happen. Number one, water pollution. Yes, the water is very much polluted. Nama chemicals ya kumine. Cause ngatolesha ama streams ya pita yonsa ya fumi na kumine. So elama chemicals yonsa ya kumine yapita ma streams mgazeni. Ela mpona mkafshiwa river. So most of the times, inshallah polluted. And the water nkana themselves, they'll come to say, no, today, shumitapa, yadi polluted. Maybe later konama water bowsers fiafini because of the water's face diarrhea. Na mumala fesana such that jimoturatino kia mukutapa insha kuna fera any direct. Tura mukutapa ko kuma balls pama chai cheze mashani aba kwa tama balls ile pure water.
Wusakile, once a proud mining township, now sits under a haze of chemical dust and fear. The community's daily life revolves not around progress, but survival.
Ama challenge tukwata sana ni noise pollution na dust pollution. Ilo na vibration ya mgodi. For example, kono moku twalisa tampo kwa complain mnanda kwa tilo vale chisa tupata ama ndalisa tampo kwa tama crack. So twalisa ta report kuiba mine. So balisa some community no research da assess. Mando na unaike bali fukutete abene babate compensate. Nibashenda tete nite compensate instead balisa tumafi abantu bakisa kuwamya tumanda toto unaike babika mu kuwamya. Balisa tampo kubika tuma crack monitors. Muma crack munamune tude mwana movement. In case ngaje parita plastic ngaje ama crack yale expand. Twalisa bomba na bokwatu almost 8-9 years. So hii ishide putula sana during the coronavirus. Ile ishide isa. Bashire ndokuti at first wala imini kali itakuwa duma movement. So after yasa apoelia abantu babwelele yo. So kuma parape ni futwa imini na tabashire wela yo.
Zambia's mining wealth has long been tied to people's lives. But as the walls crack, so does the trust. Across the Copper Belt, the air and water, once life-giving, now carry death in invisible forms. Acid rains, sulfur dioxide, and toxic effluents have turned rivers into chemical streams.
Tuli abalimi abene nga kuchimwamona tulila gardens. So yama gardens nga twalima first we start with ama vegetables. Nga twafunyamu ama vegetables tulabika mu amataba. Nga twafunyamu amataba tulabika mu cabbage. Nga twafunyamu cabbage tulesa mu kubika mu ama carrots. So effort tuchita survive through ama gardens. Ifyo shinenda manga twashitisha tulalipilila bana kuma skulu ama medical bills na ukuifuika tuifuikira mu gardens. Nomba apo imaini yaishira kwena ubulimi nabo bwashupa. Pantu nangu mwinga byala efintu kuchifya isa fya bwino eventually fyapya kuchimwamuna na repwe taile moneka health.
ba Longsing na ba CCS baliona ulamenshi from the starting ya Kakamana Kalwela up to Mwambashi River. Isabiri ali muri Kalwela stream work. Abantu bali amkulo besabi. Ashtisha, ashtofya refwai. This time utamwaba. Even in Mwambashi was collided na sinometo. Bonse fya ishire chitikira fye mukukonkana. Ya chita bust ku sinometos. Papita fya a week na pena pa fya chita bust. Abantu bachita complain wa government baisa. Bati bale fuma kofye bashala bale bomba. Twaipusha nomba kuti bashala shani bale bomba ba. After on aba pango mulandi unishina bali pira. Until again ba minister baisa abwera. Kwe bati yo isaleni. Epa kuisala Longsing.
Would want to see that the laws stipulates to how the communities that are affected by the mining communities can benefit immediately from the mines. The other aspect that we would want to see is the corporate social responsibility need now to speak to a law on how it should be. And we are proposing as Futurepreneur, let it not be corporate social responsibility, let it be corporate social investment.
You need to have a law that says you must reinvest this amount of money in this sector where you are mining. If you don't put it that way, I decide where to take my social corporate responsibility. I take it to boxing, I take it to the bar, I take it to golf, I take it to football. When you say you're not doing anything, I say, here, I'm doing something.
Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi, just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature such as forests has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. Now we have come to the end of the show for this week. Make a date with me next week, same time, same channel. Remember to play your role in environmental protection and climate justice. My name is Mary Mwikisa. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.